Yo, what up, man? Chris, somebody checking back in, man, back with a blog, man. Make sure that like button, that subscribe button away, and I appreciate all the support, man. Finally back at the crib, man. I was gone like 3 weeks, man. That's probably the longest I've been out. But I'm really on a paper chase. I'm actually going to Mexico pretty soon, man. I want to pay for the whole trip just off driving for the next month. So, cause I got like this crazy ass suite. I'm talking about like damn near like $1,200 a night. You know what I'm saying? Really doing it big. But, so I'm really trying to just pay for a lot of things through this trip, man. But when you be on the road like that, man, where was I at? I was out in LA, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and then Arizona, came back to the East Coast. I was just in Philly and, Maryland and stuff. And it's a lot of just, you know, getting hotels. Sometimes you sleep in your van, a lot of taking showers at LA Fitness. There's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of y'all want to jump into this trucking thing. You know what I'm saying? That shit can be real. I ain't gonna say grimy, but you kind of gotta live like really below your means. I don't know how you live in your regular life, but a lot of that is just like, yo, let me just eat some quick shit real fast. Try to make it healthy at the end of the day, but also like not try to minimize how much money you spend. Cause that's the thing. You be out on the road so much. It be so much. You see a lot of things you don't really see in other places. And it's like, oh, I can go here and go shopping. I can go to this mall. I can go buy this. And it's a lot of like landmarks and different stuff like that. And it's just like sometimes you gotta temper your expectations, or temper your you know, your ability to want to do a lot of stuff, because you can get into spending money like this. You know what I'm saying? So the key is to try to drive, but keep your expenses low. That's the key. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a little tip for tat. But I want to talk about Cassidy and Freeway. I feel like this was the start of like URL and Caffeine kind of going, I ain't gonna say they're separate ways, but actually having probably their first issues at the end of the day. And I don't know this for sure. It's not like I spoke to Caffeine or anything like that, but it seemed like everything was cool when this battle was first announced. It was announced on the Drake card. Everything was cool. Everybody was excited. This was the biggest event. You know, Drake was supposedly paying for all of this stuff. And some of these battlers were making an enormous amount of money. And even when you make an enormous amount of money, there can still be, like they say, more money, more problems. And I feel like over time, URL didn't actually manage their money properly in a lot of things. And it's stuff that led up to a lot of their issues that they have today. So we're going to definitely talk about it. But let's revisit this Cassidy and Freeway.
Cassidy in the building. Step back. Caffeine in the building. Mr. Chicken. We about that chicken. What up, bro? I'm Gucci, man. How you feeling? Come on, we about to get back to work top of the year. Y'all want to know who we gonna battle? Who y'all think gonna battle? Cause yo, they're Drake. This one different. They ain't even ready for this one yet. You know what I mean? I went all the way back with this one. I went way back with this one. Yeah? We going back to the Smack DDT era. URL's a baby. We going back to the Smack era. We going back to the streets. So he's going up against my other brother, representing Philly. It's my brother, Freeway!
All right, so I checked out this interview recently. It'll be on Hip Hop Is Real, you know what I'm saying, soon. And it's an interview where they asked Cassidy what was up with the Freeway battle, why it didn't go down. He basically says you got to ask Smack. But he did say that out of respect for URL, he didn't take any more battles. He didn't do anything, and he gave them an ample amount of time to figure it out. And he said the bag was so big, he was willing to wait. He said the front end was so big that it was probably the biggest deposit they've ever given anybody.
Like I've been had I've been had like 6-7 rounds ready for free years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been like, we could do that shit whenever. Like, you know what I mean? They just gotta get my money right. I ain't worrying about the date. We could set it up whenever. But I don't think they're gonna be able to make it happen. So you gotta talk to them and ask them what happened or what went wrong or why they had to post. I don't know what's going on. That money that I got like in advance was bigger than what niggas ever. That's the most money URL ever sent out.
I kind of feel like URL brought Cassidy back because of all the energy he created on RBE. You know, he went over there. The face-off was crazy. 3 million views in like a day, a week or something. 1 million views in a day. That was the face-off. And then the battle was crazy. For about 4 months of the year, Cassidy dominated. He had rented a mansion down in Atlanta. He had battlers coming down there. He was talking about doing like a tournament or a league and everything. He was basically the energy and the conversation surrounding Hitman and Cassidy around that time went from Max Out 1 directly into Max Out 2. So for a while, we've seen this before. Like right now, y'all are talking about, yo, like RBE is taking over, RBE this, RBE that. RBE kind of ran things for like 5 to 6 months of, what year was this Cassidy joint? Hold on. It was of 2021. They kind of ran that. If we being real, not 20. Was it 2021? 2020? I don't know. I get mixed up. But anyway, they kind of ran battle rap for that time because URL didn't really grasp it and put their stamp on what they needed to stamp until they got to like Gnome and Summer Madness. But at first, the year started with Max Out and then Max Out 2. And those two big events kind of dominated the first 6 months of the year. And you could argue RBE was kind of in the lead. So we have seen this before, just in a different manner. So, it was interesting what he said because I was hearing rumors that they were trying to get like, they were trying to pay Cassidy in 3 separate installments. His bag was so big to come over here. And when you try to bring Cassidy over here after he had a bad battle versus Arsenal, that was the last time he was on URL. He goes over to RBE. He has a pretty average battle in my personal opinion, but it was better than expected. I thought it was going to be trash. It ended up being decent at best for me personally. I didn't really like Hitman and Cassidy that much, but it had enough entertainment in it because of the way the face off and everything else that it still was like something that you felt like you had to watch. So URL brings Cassidy over and books him with Freeway, which was pretty much their idea, based on this interview. He wasn't trying to battle Freeway. They brought that to the table. So they overpaid to bring him over here. And that ended up probably being something that probably been a start of the downward slide to URL and Caffeine, even though they still work together. They overpaid to bring him over here. And it's just like, this is something I want to talk about it, even when you have sponsors and even when you have money that coming in from other areas, you still have to manage it right. If somebody told you right now, yo, anytime you need some money, just let me know. But all you need is $20. Don't go to that person and ask for 100 if all you need is 20. Ask for the 20. You got to be able to keep that lifeline going or keep that string of income revenue as a possibility. So you can't really, you can't kill your plug, I guess you say. If your plug is the person with the money, you can't kill it by overextending yourself. I feel like over time, URL has done a bad job of overextending a plug. So let's talk about it. Back in the day, they had exclusive vodka, they had cigarillos, they had stuff like that. URL would use those situations, and they had the sneaker deal for a minute. That was the B Magic DNA battle. That was the Young Ill Charlie Clips. They used that, and then they use up these situations, and then they bounce. And then they get Harry in, and Harry was just a gullible guy that wanted to be around. He was friends with DNA and them, and he wanted to, be around battle rap. He got into battle rap and kind of got fanned out. He just really got fanned out. Bring this down some. He really got fanned out to the point where it was just like, he just enjoyed being around battle rappers to the point where when URL was booking battles, sometimes the battlers would contact Harry to try to get on the card. They would just bypass URL. Like, yo, Gnome is coming up. I need 15,000 to be on, and Harry just pay it. So Harry was like really like a real simp. I gotta keep it real with you. He was like a simp for these battle rappers, and URL was allowing him to be a simp. And I say this all the time, man. When you drive the market up, it's hard to bring it back down. So once you pay, Hitman $20,000, he's not going to want to take 15. He's not going to want to take 18. He's going to want to take 20. He's giving you a great performance. He's giving you all these views. And now next time he wants at least 20, if not 25. And that's the way it is as people keep going up and up and up. And URL seems like they took this approach. Well, we don't mind paying you because it's not our money. But in one breath, it's like, okay, you were able to get a lot of Balor's, a lot of money. Kudos. That's a good thing. You putting money in Balor's pocket. You should be commended for that. The other flip side, and this is a point ARP made on one of his lives probably like a week or two ago, but you still, even when you have a sponsor and even when you have people giving you money, you still don't want to overextend it, because when you overextend it, you may overextend them and they're not able to help anymore. So you kill your plug, and you have to be able to extend the life of your plug. And URL didn't have any real competition. They had King of the Dot, they had RBE, they had Guerrilla Warfare, they had all these people early on. But at the end of the day, being on stage on URL, on Smack, on YouTube was still the way to go. And they had the history, the longevity, and the respect. So if URL is number one, it was almost like they paid people so much money over the years that it was almost like, I'm buying your loyalty. I'm trying to pay you all this money so that you want to stay here and you don't want to go other places. But the other people didn't have the budget or the money. When ARP first came on, he didn't have the money to be trying to pay all these people all this money. Like, his league was just starting out, and his cars weren't really geared towards that. Guerrilla Warfare, yeah, they paid a lot of money for like the Crown 1 and the Crown 2, but they did them once a year. So it's like they didn't do enough events to compete. URL never really had any real competition. King of the Dot was there for a minute and doing a thing with the blackouts and all that stuff. But URL was basically using Harry to pay for these battles. And Harry was damn near like a trick, bro. Like, Balor's, in inner circles with Balor's felt like, oh, well, they'll go to URL and they'll say, well, I need $10,000 a battle. URL will say, I ain't got it. Niggas will say, call Harry. That's how they was handling URL. Like, yo, I want this to battle. You don't got it. Call Harry. Harry ass doing too damn much, trying to be cool with niggas, is coming up with the bread to pay these dudes. When at the end of the day, they still got a battle to keep their relevancy. So if I tell you I only got 10,000 and you want 15, if I can't, and I don't want to pay 15, because once I pay 15, now you're stuck at 15. You don't want to come back down to 10. So my budget doesn't allow me to really pay you 15 without Harry. So I still need to keep you at the level you are, because Harry may not always be here. So I can't count on this extra money from Harry forever. I got to work with what I can deal with. So it's like, okay, since that's all I can deal with, let me try to keep you as low as I can. And I feel like URL did not do that in a lot of scenarios. They just was like, okay, you want this? We don't have it. In order to get you to battle, we'll get it from Harry, or we'll get it from Cigarillos, or we'll get it from wherever. And over time, it just killed off the plug. Now, granted, Balor's would go to other places, take less money and stuff like that, but they still never got the respect going to these other leagues. At the end of the day, it still meant more to battle on URL. And Harry was along for the ride, and the prices and the prices and the prices of battle rap went up and up and up. And Harry helped inflate the market, which was a bad thing, but URL was paying for it. But Harry inflated the market. URL should have brought the market back down by just saying, yo, we don't have it. If you want to battle on URL and you still want to get your thing, take this 10 and be all right. If you feel like you can get it, because it wasn't like they were getting it from King of the Dot. They'll go to King of the Dot and get 7. They were still getting less money over there. So URL should have just been like, yo, we are negotiating the way we can negotiate. So then that ended up happening when Caffeine came along. It's like, cool, there was this evaluation that Caffeine was putting 130 million into the culture. You see all these battlers. You see $100,000 Ultimate Madness tournament, $50,000 or 25 or 50 of the other tournament that Holmes and them won. You see battlers talking about, oh, all I need is two. I saw Geechee Gotti in the interview. I tried to find it for the video. I couldn't even find it. He said he started talking about all the money he get, and he started talking about in 2 battles he can make $100,000. Geechee Gotti isn't even a $50,000 battler. He won't get that from no other league. He can't go nowhere and get that kind of money. In my personal opinion, you go to RBE right now, they're not paying him 50 grand. I don't think the battle. You know, maybe if he was battling, I don't know. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see, even if ARP was a book, easy to block captain versus Geechee Gotti right now. I don't see Geechee getting that bread. I don't. I know Rem is paying a nice amount of money, but you know, Rem is different. Like, she's a real celebrity. She's making her money. She got a lot of revenue streams. It's a little bit different. She may have it like that. But, you know, for URL, it's like, where was Geechee Gotti going to get that money from? Where was he going to go? He wasn't even on RBE. King of the Dot was fading. Where was he going to go get $40,000 a battle, $50,000 a battle? URL could have always kept their prices down. But to try to not have Geechee go other places, they paid extra money for loyalty. That was one of their biggest issues. When you got Surf talking about all this money that he was making, a lot of that is embellished, because I know niggas just be saying shit at the end of the day. But I talked to I talked to battlers that's battling on Caffeine, and they tell me the kind of money they make, and some of them, they be keeping it real. And I heard Surf in the space talk about he got like $75,000 to battle JC. I don't really believe that, to keep it real with you. I think it was probably less than that. He probably just added an extra 20 to it. But the point of the matter is that URL is not in a position to pay anybody 50 grand a battle out of their own money. Or they shouldn't want to do that. Like, that's too much money of your own money to consistently do that on a regular basis. So you have to bring the market back down. Even though Caffeine is giving you all this money, and it's cool, you're able to pay these people this money. Like, oh, we can do $100,000 tournaments. We can pay you this. We can pay you that. We can do this. We can do that. That's good that you're able to put money in people's pockets. But once you raise the market, you cannot bring the market back down. It's why Queen of the Ring is no longer doing a thing, because once the females got on Caffeine and started getting $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a battle, why would I go battle on Queen of the Ring for $3,500? Why would I do that? The market is raised. I'll just hold out and battle on URL, Caffeine. And that's what happened. So now Queen of the Ring can't even get their league back established. There's a lot of girls that want to battle. They really can't battle anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, URL don't do enough events that for the females. But if Queen of the Ring called these females right now and said, I got $4 grand for you to battle, they're turning it down. Especially if you're a top girl and you just battle for $9,000. You on Chrome battling for $10,000. You realize there's a rumor Tori Doe got like $9 grand to battle. She didn't even rap. Like, there's a rumor that I'm hearing that she got $9 grand to battle. She didn't even rap, bro. She not even one of them girls. She not even a Bardashian, a Hustle. She not even one of them. How can Queen of the Ring call Tori Doe and be like, yo, I got $2,000 for you? She be like, no, I'm good. I'm good. That's the thing with inflation. You still, even when you got people giving you money, you still have to manage it. So if somebody says, Chris, man, you know, we got this, you know, this trucking business or whatever, you know, here go all this extra money. I still need to pay my driver the same money I'm paying him. If I'm paying him $20 an hour to drive this truck, I still need to pay him $20. Just because old boy put some money in the company don't mean I start paying the driver $30 an hour. I might can bump him up a little bit. Okay, you was making 20. I got this influx of money, but I still got to manage it. So now I'm going to give you $22, $23 an hour. I'm going to give you extra few dollars an hour. I can't blow up the spot, give you 30. Then when the money man gone and I try to bring you back down to 20 because it's just me now, you don't want that no more. Now I'm tripping. Now you mad at me. See, now you count my pockets. Now you mad at me and now you feel some type of way. You'll go to another league and still take less money. But this is the problem, bro. This is the problem URL had. They did all of that. They took Caffeine's money and just damn near just gave it away. They just paid niggas that wasn't even worth half the money that they were getting. Honestly, I don't even feel like a baller should be getting 50 grand, except a select few. I could probably count on my hand the amount of ballers, 2 hands maybe, that should even be getting 40 or 50,000. Now, I think URL probably passed this shit out to one too many people, bro. Some of these $30 checks and some of these 25, 30,000, they're just giving money away. And what they're thinking is that if you're so used to getting this kind of money over here, you won't go to another league and try to get no money because we're paying you very well over here. So they overpaid for loyalty, but they didn't really have to, because to me, URL being the #1 league is never in competition with anybody. Let RBE do their thing. They're going to win some, they're going to win a few battles. They're going to get a little bit of what they need to do. They're going to do some matchups that really work out for them. But at the end of the day, we'll still finish the year with more events, better battles, and still being who we are. But when you want to pay all this money for Cassidy to leave and pay all this money for this, these are the situations that you run into. When there's rumors that, yo, Geechee Gotti and Hitman may battle on RBE, what does URL do? They start booking Geechee Gotti a lot more. Well, they book him a lot anyway, but then they book him and then they probably give him a nice amount of money so that he won't go to RBE. And this is what happened with the money. They also gave away a bunch of Caffeine deals. They gave Caffeine deals to people that don't even got no fucking personality. Let's just keep it real. It's cool that Surf got a Caffeine deal. It's cool that DNA, because he worked hard, got a Caffeine deal. I'm not even tripping on Goods. Maybe Mike P with the game. And there's a couple people. But, bro, the Bardashians had a deal. Like, fucking official KCJ had a little drink thing, 40 bars. Had a deal. That shit was like, what was we like to know? That shit wasn't even talking about nothing. I don't even know if I got a great enough personality to drive a Caffeine show. It takes a lot to pop a show off. And it's like they gave all these shows. I even heard Bill Collector had a Caffeine show. I'm like, I never even seen Bill Collector. Tay-Rock got a Caffeine sitting on his bed, talking to his girl. All these deals that Caffeine gave. Try to give me and Caps one too. Like, oh, if you come over here and get a Caffeine deal, it's just kind of like, why are you giving all these deals away to people who really ain't earned them? They ain't even shown that they can promote on their own, let alone based on Caffeine. Like, first show that you can promote on your own, then we'll reward you by giving you a Caffeine deal. They just giving out shit. Well, if you got a Caffeine deal, you won't battle nowhere else because you got a Caffeine deal over here. And it was just kind of like, that's what URL did. And I think over time, that's why when that new dude from Caffeine came in, he was like, yo, there's too much money being spent. Too much money being spent. The money has dried up. The money has went down. And it's not that URL don't have any money. They don't want to spend their own money for a lot of stuff. And that's why Summer Madness is partly why it is. So now the next blog I'm going to do is also on Summer Madness, or why Summer Madness is, why they weren't able to book some of the battles. It's not just the money, some other factors going on to that. But Caffeine is one of them. I think URL will leave Caffeine at the end of the year. They're going to find someone else, another gullible fish, to pay for these battles, because that's what they do, whether it's Cigarillos, Exclusive Vodka, Harry. They'll find somebody else to help pay for battles, because that's the American way, spending other people's money. So I don't know, maybe they'll go to Twitch, maybe they'll go here, maybe they'll go somewhere else. But I do feel like they will eventually leave Caffeine, or they'll renegotiate with Caffeine on a whole new deal that'll be better than what it is now. But leaving is probably what I think that they'll end up doing at the end of the day. But let me know your thoughts, man. Even when you have a plug, you cannot extend your plug, man. You still have to siphon off a little bit of what you need. URL is paying niggas for loyalty, overpaying when they are only in competition with themselves at the end of the day. It wasn't that long ago y'all niggas did not hold RBE in a high light. Y'all was calling them niggas KFC. Y'all was saying all ARP do is blog and yada, yada, yada. Y'all was saying he a farm league, he don't have no talent. This was just when Surf was out of jail. Surf ain't been in jail longer than a year. Just less than a year ago, the downside of RBE was All they do is use URL battlers. All they do is this. All they do is keep booking Rosenberg Raw and Big K and Ill Will. They need to put more people on the thing. I used to be thinking the same thing sometimes. RBE card was pretty predictable. The matchups just switched. But as far as Raw, Oops, Show Off, Big K, and Ill Will, you kind of expected 3 or 4 of them to dominate the card, mixed in with like a Hitman or a Cassidy or something like that. They didn't go too much outside the box to just grab other people because they couldn't, because most of them were URL artists. So URL really was just competing with themselves. They had everybody on the roster. They could control the market like they wanted to, but they overspent. And now that the money is dried up, battlers are like, this is all the money you got. This is all you offering me for Summer Madness. Now I want to do the battle. So that's what it is, man. Chris Unbiased, holla at your boy.